If you want to start a successful business from nothing in 2024, I'm going to give you 5 blueprints. I'm going to tell you exactly what businesses to start, what to do to get started, and how you can grow each one to over $1 million. I've also chosen these, so no matter what you're interested in, one of them will work for you. Now, I've grown businesses to 7 figures in services, e-commerce, software, consulting, including starting them from scratch with no investors, growing the business, and selling them. And each of these businesses is different, so make sure to listen to all 5, since the next one might be the one that makes you $1 million entrepreneur. Now, for each of these ideas, I'm going to go over what it is, how you make money, how much you can make, the advantages, the disadvantages of it, and the first thing to do to get started. And stay tuned for the last idea, because I started one and it's generating 7 figures right now. Business number 1, I call it the sweaty startup. Beginner businesses that anyone can do with super low risk and costs almost nothing to start. What are they? Lawn care, painting, carpet cleaning, mold removal. Now, how do you choose one? So first, pick a few that interest you. I've listed a few here, but there are a whole bunch. These are everyday businesses that are done in local areas. So pick a few. Then go to Google and Yelp and search in your area for them. And what you want to see is that for any ones that already exist, are there some that are paying for ads? In other words, you're looking for the sponsored links. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. Why do I want competition? Why do I want to look for things where someone's already paying for advertising? Well, I'm actually giving you the lowest risk way to start a business here. Because if someone else is already paying for ads, you know that there's money there. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you how to beat that competition easily. But what you're first doing here is you're taking risk out of the equation. If you're going to start a business, you want to know that there is demand. There's not going to be a company that's paying for advertising if they're not getting some money back from it. The next question, how do you make money? Now, you make money in all of these businesses by first doing the work yourself with as low cost as possible and saving up, and then hiring people to do the work while you just market the business. And we'll talk about why you're going to beat the competition this way. But it's important that if you keep doing the work, there's no way to get to $1 million. So I talked about sharing the advantages and the disadvantages of each one of these businesses. So the advantages of this one, a lot of other business ideas are at risk of technology making them obsolete, but these are really future-proof, at least for the foreseeable future. Are there some disadvantages? Sure. The first is that you need to do some work at the beginning, and it's real work. You're not going to be a keyboard warrior. Now, I actually think that's a good thing because it'll let you hire people and it'll let you actually get out there and do something that other people can't knock off. So if you think about some of the other business opportunities, they might be, start this Amazon drop shipping store or something like that. Anybody can do that. And if anyone can do it, the competition is high. But how many people are actually willing to do the hard work? Not that many people. So when you do it, you're going to have a sustainable way to make money. Now I want you to go back to Google and Yelp, and I want you to read all of the competitors' comments and look for what people love and what they hate about those businesses. Now, why are you doing this? Because this is your shortcut to your marketing. Your marketing is all about what customers really want. And the complaints about your competitors are what you are going to address, and that's how you're going to get customers. It's usually not about offering the lowest price. And if you do offer the lowest price, you're probably going to get the shittiest customers. So you don't want to do that. Now, once you've got that down, you're going to make relationships with people who already have the customers you want and create a referral relationship. I'll just take an example here. Let's say you've chosen to do lawn care. Now you want to meet real estate agents who are going to refer you to new clients every time they sell a house. And sure, you can advertise online, but making real world relationships is how these businesses can get really big. So I've given you something that is low risk and is actually easily able to hit $1 million if you're willing to do the grind. The next thing, let's do something a little bit sexy, high-end tours. Would you like to get paid to travel? And if you have great people skills and you want to sell to rich customers, this one is for you. It's a different risk profile from the last one, but it actually can do pretty well. So high-end tours, how do you make money? Packaging tours and making sure everything is handled. High-end tour companies can charge a ton for trips. For instance, I just took my family to India and I paid over $60,000 to have a luxury personalized tour. And what are the advantages to running a business like this? Now, first of all, it takes little or nothing to start because you're doing the research, you're doing the bookings online, so you don't need a big cash outlay. And it also lets you connect with wealthy people who will refer you more business. And again, like the last one, it's also a business that's AI proof for the foreseeable future because people want to deal with real people packaging these tours. They don't want to automate it. Now, that's not to say there aren't disadvantages. This one is harder to scale to $1 million, and that's because it's a high touch business. And it's also highly relationship driven. So you have to expect that you're going to be spending some time networking to get it off the ground. And it's also a business where your clients are going to expect you to go the extra mile. But for a lot of people, getting to travel in style with high-end clients makes it worth it. So how do you start this business? Now, for one, you're going to need to create a really visually appealing website because the clients expect it. And then you're going to have to network with the kinds of businesses that already have your clients. Now, notice a theme here, networking with people who already have your clients. So who do you network with? Concierge services, high-end hotels, wealth managers, high-end attorneys that do trusts and estates. These are the kinds of people who can send you this kind of business on an ongoing basis. I would say that this one is a little harder to scale, but if you're looking for that lifestyle, could be a really good fit. Business number 3, online and virtual training. Now, what is this? More and more people are getting their education online. So if you have any hobby or skill, it is possible to earn 7 figures just by creating trainings online. However, this is a riskier one than the last 2 I talked about. So how do you make money? Think about it this way. There are millions of people searching and they are looking for answers online. And many of them are coming to YouTube and they're finding some free content, but many of them want a paid course. People pay because they like the instructor and they want a clearly defined path. And if you add on to that access to groups or consulting, that's even a better selling proposition. So what are the advantages of this business? Number 1, it is build once and sell many. It's a huge amount of leverage. The second, you get incredible margins and it's close to zero maintenance. So disadvantages on this one. Number 1, it is not hands-free. You will have to figure out the marketing and you're going to have a lot of competition. The business will become the marketing. So if all you do is create a course and you don't understand how to do the marketing and you're not willing to put in the time to do it, then this is not going to work. So I'll give you a shortcut though on how to start it. The secret is that you don't go and create the course first. Otherwise, they're going to spend a whole bunch of time making something that people might not want. And that's a waste of your time and that's a waste of your money. So here's how to get them to pay you before you do any work. Instead of making a course and trying to sell a course, I'd like you to advertise this as a live training series. There's a bunch of online places you can do that. You can even do it locally. And you're going to advertise this live training for a really low dollar amount. And I want you to do them as online virtual lessons once a week. And when you do that, you're advertising it. Now you can see if people are actually interested. So all you really need to start out with is an outline of what you're covering, because you'll need that to explain what you're going to offer to people. And then each week, you're going to make it up as you go. And you'll do a session. At the end of the session, you'll ask people, great, what else do you want to know? And then you'll build the next one. And now you're going to take all the recordings and that becomes the course. And that you can sell again and again. Once you're starting to make more money, you can re-record everything, make it super professional if you want, but you didn't need to risk a lot. Business number 4, a marketing agency. Now, I know a thing or two about starting one because I started one, grew it to 7 figures, and sold the business. Marketing agencies make money by helping businesses generate more money. I didn't say that marketing agencies market on behalf of their clients. I said they help businesses generate more money. Super important distinction, because if all you're doing is helping them with marketing, you're probably going to start bleeding clients. If on the other hand, you're focused on how do I make my client money, you're going to get more clients and you're actually going to keep them a lot longer. So what are the advantages? Easy to start. I started mine with pretty much $0, and it's pretty much impossible to go bankrupt if you pay any attention at all to the finances in an agency. And there are some disadvantages though. You might be suckered into buying some course or mastermind or training that's going to tell you the wrong things. I'm not going to name names about who's good and who's not good, but I want you to be careful because there's so many get-rich-quick folks out there, influencers that are peddling their course, and their course is just a bunch of rehashed garbage. You also need to, as a disadvantage, you need to stay on top of technology changes. AI is going super hard into the space. If you can stay in front of it, that's something that's really good. But if you're not tech savvy, you can get left behind. How do you start a marketing agency? First of all, I want you to understand the vast majority of times with low dollar clients, you will not succeed at getting to that level. So your marketing agency is going to be selling to a specific kind of customer, a specific solution to get them more business. So how do you go about this? You're going to choose two things. Number one, a niche with a larger client, and two, a marketing strategy. I'll give you an example. Selling to software companies, doing cold email. Being specific is how you make more money. It is not by doing everything. It's not for being for everyone, and it's not being at a low price. Those are the three traps that these young agencies fall into. Business number 5, e-commerce. And okay, I'm a little biased on this one because a few years ago, I started an e-commerce company and I took about $500 to start it. And now it generates over $1.3 million every year selling in the pet related businesses. Now, the unfortunate thing is that most e-commerce businesses fail. But I'm going to tell you a way to be sure that you succeed before you waste any money on inventory. So first, a little note about how e-commerce companies make money. Now, it's pretty straightforward. You're finding what products people really want and you're selling it to them. Now, I just snuck something into that last sentence. That's the difference between you succeeding and failing. So hang with me and I'll explain. Now, before we go any further, I am not talking about drop shipping. This is really important. Drop shipping, as you might see it on the internet, is usually just BS. So real e-commerce, what are the advantages? Now, the first advantage is that these businesses are super scalable. And after they get rolling, it takes very little time to manage. My business that now does 7 figures takes me under 5 hours a week to manage. Now, that is pretty incredible leverage. But there are some disadvantages. It's not all roses with e-commerce, especially if you're doing it the way that most people do, which is buy a bunch of inventory, try to sell it online. If you're doing that, the cash flows can get really, really hard and you can sink a ton of money into the inventory and never get it out. But I'm not going to let you take all that risk. So here's how you do it to start. I'm going to give you a cheat code. Remember I said, find products that people really want because that's going to ensure your demand. So how you do this is you will launch a Facebook group. You can do it on other platforms. Facebook's really good for this. And you are going to find people who are really die-hard fans of the kind of product that you're interested in. And you're going to discuss with them what their problems are, what they would love to see in a new product in this category. And you're bringing them along in the journey for a pre-launch. So what I've just done is de-risked this for you because you now know what people want and they are willing to pay money in advance of even getting it. So you have collected the cash before paying for the inventory. And then what do? You grow the community. You continue to put a lot of effort into the growth of the community around the product, which means you're growing your own buying community and you're getting bigger and bigger from there. So there you have it, 5 of the top ways to generate $1 million business in 2024, but you might need a few more steps here and there. And if you need to know how to run a business, go to the CEO Workbench, that's ceoworkbench.com, for a completely free resource on growing a business. Details are in the description.